Holy cow. Oh, okay, I'm recording. I wound up waking up early, but don't worry, I went back to sleep. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and uh, thought, you know what, I'm gonna watch other bow channels. And so I went through there and watched all the greats. I'm not gonna mention any names here. It's like, holy cow. In some ways, they've left me in the dust. I'm not out there homesteading, and I'm not um, hunting this, that, or the other thing, with this, that, or the other thing. I don't want to be specific enough for you to know who I'm talking about. Good, great bow makers, by the way. And I kind of wondered, what's my place in things? Look at me. I'm just a guy sitting around in a chair now inside talking about bow and arrows, bows and arrows. What's my purpose? Who am I? Why am I here? Like we all do from time to time. And I was going through the comment section, and I get it. They have so many people commenting and watching, they can't answer it. And there was a lot of people asking questions, and there was no response, this or that. I actually saw one. Again, this is why I want to be anonymous, and I'm not casting shade on anyone. There was reference, it was a simple question. It was like, go to my Patreon, and I answered it on my DVD. And I get it. You create this machine, and then that's what you do, and is what it is. But then I wake up, and I have my cup of coffee, and I feel strong again. It kind of reminds me of General Grant saying that what he had was, either 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning courage. And I get that, because a person is stronger when they're awake, and, less susceptible to self-doubts and this, that, and the other thing and whatnot, and etc. I like that inside joke, and I'll never explain what that's about. And yet, we all have our place in the world. And I think maybe mine is just not to have a large channel, so I am able to respond to everyone's comment. And I just finished answering an email from somebody that I've sold some stuff. I want to be accessible. But anyway, I was thinking about the tips of the ghost bow, how this works out. There's not a whole lot of other people that will talk about making different kinds of bows, and then especially getting into painted designs. I'm going to drag this one out first. And you've seen this before. I talk about the same thing over and over again. And it's glistening because I've sized it. And I should not be handling it. I should have like latex or nitrile gloves on. I did wash my hands, but once you size it, you probably shouldn't touch it with your bare hands and play with it. I've got, and this doesn't matter, the number, because it depends on the viscosity of your hide glue mix, but probably 5 wipes of hide glue on here. And typically I don't size a bow and then let it sit for a long time, because oils can settle on it, or sometimes it's not a good idea to have it too dry before, you sinew back it, blah, blah, blah. But I hit it with 220, and I will hit it with 220 again, even if I'm removing some of the sizing. Help scarf it up a little bit. That's a technical term. Don't get too intimidated by that. And then resize it again. Be careful, before I put the sinew in it. This is really turning out nicely. And let's talk about tips. The sinew bows in the style that I've seen, they don't even have string grooves. Sinew collar, which brings up a point. When you have a slip loop on the end of your string, it's hard to string and unstring it when you have that style of tip. So I need to learn. If they did that, I need to learn, get better at it. I'm not too bad at stringing and unstringing a bow with the collars, but there has to be tricks. The next up. Now this is intended to be a hunting bow. My wife said, it would be good with that color that you chose. Very subdued color, because it's a hunting bow and I don't want to have colors that'll flag the game. She goes, a burgundy would go well with that color. And I'm like, well, normally I would, but this is a hunting bow, so it's not going to have any colors, even though maybe technically this is kind of a color, even though it's a combination of a tone and the other thing that's not a tone, black and white. The color is gray. A tone and a shade? Is that it? I don't know. And this goes along with my doubts. What is my place in the universe? You're looking, what is that? It's kind of a cool pattern. Does it have any meaning? Now, if you talk to a native person that is deep into the native lifestyle, let's say, there's a certain amount of information they will pass along, and then it's like, nope, we cannot talk about that. Like sweat lodges and stuff like that. In some designs, you're not going to get an answer if you are not part of that community. I'm going to do a little kind of partial here. 4. There is a center one that makes it 5. That's okay. Significance of the number 4. 4 cardinal directions. What is this? 4 repeats itself. 4 points on the diamond, 4 dots, 4 bands. 4. I'm smacking you over the head with the number 4. 4 cardinal directions would be 1. You can come up with your own. It's like runes. Multiple levels. And the first level is just, it's an alphabet. And you can see our alphabet was taken from the runes, depending on which region it is, 24 or 18 or whatever, They share commonalities, but in England, Scandinavia, even within Scandinavia, different number of runes, and the age, period in which they originated, different numbers to some degree. But they all share commonalities. There's this side and this side, even though it's circular, and in the center, there's always a spiral. The commonality of man, my friend. That's you and I. We're at the center, not of the universe. Let's not get too big of a head. Let's not get conceited here. But we are the center of our world, like it or not. You're here, and the world is around you. This could be a compass, or it could be a guiding star, your guiding philosophy. And so it took me a while to come up with this. And I like it. In gray. That might look black, but it's actually gray. Very muted. Kind of works with the whole hunting scheme. It's not gonna, whoa, look at the bright blues and the pinks and all this stuff. It's gray. I like that. Then it goes down along here. I'm going to have, again, 2 bands of rawhide, and then I've got a secret little trick I'm going to do with the handle. This is a small handle. I'm going to do something there that you may or may not have seen before. There's going to be 2 bands either side of middle limb, and is a little kind of lead explanation, little descriptive type of tome, is that backstrap sinew looks different than leg tendon sinew. And so I'm going to do something that I've done on gull wings in the past, is that I've taken backstrap sinew, which is a long fiber, and you can definitely see, oh, I can see that backstrap sinew against the leg sinew. There's going to be either a spiral or there's going to be an X pattern. I haven't really decided yet. I like the idea of spiral because it fits in with this. Think about it. So you're going to have rawhide, probably a spiral, not an X pattern. Huge, a significant difference in significance. And then I'll probably continue the gray on all the bandings to bring it home. I don't like suspense. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go kind of quasi English longbow type of a thing. They had, they didn't have the narrowed, deepened handle, typically. But what they would do, they would have a thing here, they would have a thing here that's kind of shaped correctly, because if you just take a thing things like this and you wrap it, it looks kind of dopey. It's kind of complex how you can have it, the handle wrap grayed in nicely to kind of thicken the handle a little bit. And some people like that. You know, I will say, and I will name names, I watched a Ryan Gill video and it was like, what is your draw length? And he has a series of books, The Science and Mysteries or whatever of, I forget, I'm blanking, old man moment of primitive archery. What is your draw length? You might not even know your draw length. And I am a troll, but a respectful troll towards people, you know, that I have great respect for, whether that's people at Primitive Pathways or Ryan Gill Hunt Primitive or Clay Hayes or anyone. I was just kind of saying, well, my draw length is exactly 18 to 30 inches, depending on which bow I'm handling. And I also shoot on the left or the right, you know, so I'm all over the place. I've had people comment on some of my shooting videos, which I need to do more of, frankly, but I am a townie now with a job that is more constrictive than, even though the hours are less than my previous life as the manager of a public trail system, public beach and education facility. That's what I did before I slung vegetables. And, you know, it is what it is. I would, if I had my choice of jobs, I would first want to work at the state park, which is close, Heft State Park. Next, I would want to be a shop carpenter, and maybe a little down on my list would be produce manager at a grocery store. I don't want to degrade that. It's a necessary thing. You know, I could say it's not as meaningful to me being a produce manager, but you know, seriously, people got to eat. And so everything you do, whether or not you're plowing snow, very important, working at a grocery store, working at a dollar store, being a shop carpenter, it's all important. It is all important. It's just up to us to feel important doing it. You know, it's like my mom said, I don't care what you do. You can dig ditches as long as you're proud of what you're doing. You see? I don't know. Will I ever have a homestead? Will I ever go off and do majestic videos of me hunting turkeys with a black powder shotgun? Probably not. But what I'm doing, see? I need to do the best possible job at it I can. And my scheme of things is I'm going to do my best to answer every single question I'm asked, to be your friend, to be that guy that has certain knowledge, I feel, and then pass it along for you and future generations. And with that, I think I'm going to have a second cup of coffee. Woo! This is my day off. It's late. It's 7 after 6. Have a good one, and I truly appreciate your viewership. I really do.